Championship title back in 2017. So look, I think it's the first time if they could ever win the top flight, the Premiership trophy. So look, I think it would be great for the club, great for the sponsors and for the fans and for the riders. We've worked hard for this all year, so it'd be nice.
Any extra pressure for that?
No, we don't really think of that. Look, we know the trophy's there, but the main goal is at the minute, heads down. Let's get tonight and let's have a good night.
And more hard-charging performances from you?
Look, I'm just a racer, so if I make the start, I'm going for it, and then for the back, I'm trying.
And that's why we love you.
Yeah.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Match points over the entire season for them. So, yeah, nothing between them. There's no clear favourite, and I think we're in for two cracking meetings.
I think you're absolutely right. Conditions obviously just an eye on perfect. Cool, really tight, little bit of moisture on top of the surface. Could be a little bit easy in here, number one. Sheffield won the toss and have taken race 1 and 3. Only race and another, and we're away. Louis Kerr's made a great start on the inside. Brennan there alongside him, round the outside comes Holder. Holder roaring down the back straight, finds an extra gear there and kicks on. Brilliant from the Sheffield Tigers on the inside. Holder round the outside for more. Start the second lap. Grundle on the outside is Jack Holder going very well indeed, but down the back straight once again.
Yeah, Holder just trying to get on the back with his teammate, himself very vulnerable. Now we see the rider in Tom just sneaking around the inside. He's now putting plenty of pressure on the leader there. Kerr
Has been doing a great job. Oh, Brennan Kerr's coming on strong with Jack Holder. Holder now being into the back. Here comes Brennan. Up here. Oh, neck for each other. On to first. Sorry, on the lap. 1 to go here. Looking like a goal. Terrific opening round here, and Louis Kerr wins it. An opening race. And there's no doubt Tom Brennan had a speed in second place, but Louis Kerr there riding with eyes in the back of his head. Held on out in front. Jack Holder, eye-catching right from Jack Holder, but actually got filled in and hasn't finished the race yet. He's finished the race. It was he got squeezed out there, but terrific start from Louis Kerr.
stuff. Very brilliant opening for him.
Indeed it was. Out in front, 3 points for him. Tom Brennan, from Brennan there in second place, 2 points for him. Brady Kurtz coming on strong late in the race, 1 point for him. And Jack Holt, as hard as he tried, he failed to score in the opening race. So all square after the first race in the grand final.
Cracking start already, and I think Jack Holder here, the rider coming off gate 3 in white, will feel a little. He just couldn't get himself ahead of Louis enough and actually stay there. Louis actually having a look for him, but as they enter turns 3 and 4 on the first lap, Louis just got so much speed on the inside, and Jack Holder just can't generate the extra speed and traction he needs to take the long route round. And I think he's a bit frustrated with that after such a good opening lap for him. And Tom Brennan just kept plugging away around the inside. That's what you've got to do here in the opening few heats. It will develop more race lines, but the speed is going to be around the inside line to begin with.
Yeah, I can agree with the frustration there. He looked like he'd found the extra gear on the opening lap and got alongside Louis, but frustratingly, he was just trapped on the outside, and the Bellevue Aces know this place so very well and were able to squeeze him out, and it ended up a shared heat. But Louis Kerr, who was released by Kings Lynn at the midway point of this season, has come into the Sheffield Tigers and has been rejuvenated. His form has been outstanding, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I think just the change of scenery, things had obviously gone a little bit stale for him at Kings Lynn, but you're absolutely right. He really has gone up a gear since moved to Sheffield, and great opening ride for him.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure. Brennan coming on very strong, but he held on out in front. So heat number 2 with the riders coming out on track just to do a few practice starts. Riders will be nervous, won't they, Chris? You know, a big night like this, particularly these reserve riders, they'll be keen to get their first race and get some points on the board. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It's every race, every point is so vital. And I'm sure Jack Holder will be feeling frustrated, as I say, after a great opening lap. But yeah, the nerves will be jangling, and the Bellevue boys here, Norwick Bladorn and Jai Etheridge, 2 real racers. It doesn't matter whether they make the start or not, they will be attacking from every direction. But indeed, Sheffield, Justin Sedgman's been pretty steady for them. He scored solid points since joining them, and Connor Mountain's been a real revelation as the rising star this year, with some really good points and a good performance here in the British final too.
Yeah, Connor Mountain certainly is a rider that's beginning to make quite a big impression. He's done a fine job for the Sheffield Tigers this year, and both sets of reserves for both clubs here have done good work, and such an important part of the team, because the reserve can take extra rides, can take up to 7 rides on the evening, so can make a big impact on the meeting. Heat number 2 then, Norwick Bladorn, the German, goes from the inside in red. Justin Sedgman from gate number 2 in white. Gate number 3 in blue, Jai Etheridge, and gate 4 in yellow is Connor Mountain. Not always easy to make the start early doors here from gate number 4 at Bellevue. Such a long run to the first corner.
Yeah, the fact that the track is so wide, it makes it a long way, especially if you want to get down to the inside line.
Start out of gate number 2. Following him through on the inside is Norwick Bladorn, and it's down the back straight. Bladorn comes charging to the front. That was a really forceful move from the German, and he made it work. Sedgman so sharp away from the tape. Connor Mountain back in 3rd place, and Jai Etheridge out the back, but Bladorn showing great commitment and confidence there on the opening lap, Chris.
Oh, absolute commitment, yeah, real determination from the young German, and Justin Sedgman doing a good job in 2nd place. I think the Sheffield boys, probably they're not going to be able to attack Norwick Bladorn now. They've just got to make sure that they keep Jai Etheridge at the back.
Yeah, solid start from the Sheffield Tigers. They'll want to keep it as tight as they possibly can, and right now, with a lap to go in heat number 2, this is like it's set for another shared result here. Norwick Bladorn, you pointed him out before the meeting started, Chris, that he has grown into British Speedway. This big, wide National Speedway Stadium coming from Germany suits him down to the ground, and he wins heat number 2 in fine style. It's 6 apiece, nothing to choose between the 2 teams after 2 races here. And Bladorn, who was out-trapped initially by Sedgman away from the tapes, comes through in fine style there. Great move on that first corner, really good stuff.
Yeah, brilliant ride from young Norwick, and he was very determined up the inside, just got his wheels in line a little bit earlier and just made the bike drive up the inside, found his way past Justin Sedgman.
Crowd happy with that. But as I say, 6 points apiece, nothing to choose between the two sides. Norwich Bladorn out in front, 3 points for him. Sedgman back in second place, 2 points. Connor Mountain hanging on for third place, and Jai Etheridge missing out in heat number 2. We'll see this again because an important move here from the young German.
Yes, Norwich Bladorn is on the inside gate. Justin Sedgman initially makes the jump and drives to the corner, gets there, but he just leaves the door open. Really doesn't leave very much room at all, but Norwich Bladorn knows exactly where he's going to ride, and he knows he's got the speed and the traction around the first turn up the inside. It really was a nice first turn from him. You can see here Justin Sedgman now just needs to pin it right down on the curb, leaves that door slightly ajar, and Norwich Bladorn just sits on the back of the bike there, and the left leg comes out just for the balance and the extra traction, hits the front, really doesn't look back, plenty of speed. He really has matured as a rider in this league this year, and I like the way he rides the bike, particularly on these big fast tracks like Bellevue.
Yeah, he's got a great style for the big tracks, but I've been impressive with the way he's been adapting to some of the smaller ones as well. So a rider that won the German Championship, the youngest rider in that country to ever win the championship, so clearly has plenty of ability. So an impressive start for Norwich Bladorn, but Sheffield will be pleased as well. They haven't managed to win a race so far, but they're keeping it even Stevens after 2 races. And when you consider the scores that they've actually achieved against one another in the home legs in the league, they've been beating each other by some considerable margin, but on aggregate it's been awfully tight indeed. So heat number 3 then. After 2 super races so far, already this grand final is living up to all the expectations, that's for sure. And we've got some big hitters out here. The engine room of both teams, that's for sure. Carl Howarth making his way round. He'll be fired up. The adrenaline will be flowing there. Charles Wright, another hard charger as well. What a night he had here in 2019 when he won the British Championship. He was a surprise winner, but a deserved one. He rode out of his skin that night. And he'll be hoping to put his best foot forward here this evening, that's for sure. So,
yeah, I've got to say, for me, the 2 riders that are going to make the difference to these teams are Charles Wright and Adam Ellis. If they can find their form, then they're going to make all the difference.
And the inside is Adam Ellis in white. Gate number 2 in blue is Charles Wright. Gate number 3 in yellow is Carl Howarth. And Matti Zagar, the Slovenian rider, goes from gate 4 in red. And Zagar's been terrific for the Aces this year. He didn't start the campaign. He missed the League Cup, but has come in for the league, and it's been really quite an inspiration for the Aces this season.
Yeah, he transformed their side. They went from being beaten in the League Cup quite convincingly, even here at Bellevue, to a real championship contenders.
He was the catalyst for their success certainly. A vastly experienced rider now in his late 30s, still has the hunger to do the business. But it's Ellis on the inside, he gets there first. Zagar around the outside, keep your eyes on Zagar. Great first corner from Zagar, got his wheels in line, found the extra grip and roared on there. Ellis is in second place, but up the inside, here comes Charles Wright. Howard also battling his way round the back, but what a first turn it was from Zagar. Terrific stuff from him, Adam Ellis there, but look at Howard. Howard coming round the outside of Charles Wright. Brilliant move from Charles Howard. And Carl Howard and Charles Wright coming back up the inside. Superb speedway. Yeah, great move for Charles Wright there to come back at Carl Howard, who was putting in a determined lap there, but now it seems like it's settled down and Charles Wright's found that way around the inside. But I've got to say that Matti Zagar has checked out. I love the way he rides this track. He just moves the bike up the bank and keeps it so smooth, generates so much speed. Through the last corner then, Zagar out in front. Brilliant win for him, but the deadlock is broken because with Charles Wright coming through into third place, it's a 4-2 heat advantage to the home team. And they'll be pleased with that. Good ride from Ellis back in second place. But there's no doubt that Carl Howarth threw everything at it. For a moment there, he was into third place, but Charles Wright was able to respond and came through in that vital third place. So the result then of heat number 3 is Zagar out in front. Stylish ride from Zagar, 3 points for him. Adam Ellis steady away in second place, 2 points. Good ride from Charles Wright to get that all-important third place, and Carl Howarth misses out in heat number 3. But once again, the Speedway red hot.
Yeah, it certainly was. This could be the psychological moment now when the home team just take a slender 2-point lead. Great start from Adam Ellis off the inside. But watch the man in red there, Matty Zagar, just generating all the speed straight to the outside line, rides on the edge of the dirt, never afraid to get out wide, and he can make the bike go forward. Look at the throttle control there. Really is generating maximum traction, maximum speed. And Kyle Howarth, meanwhile, was stuck at the back, but he puts in a hard charge on laps 2 and 3 to get past Charles Wright. Initially, you can see they're driving around the outside now. He knows he's got to shut that door. Can't allow Charles Wright that straight line up the inside we see so often here in turn 3 at Bellevue, but he creeps around the inside, dives back up the inside now into turn 1, and all over for Kyle Howarth. But another great ride for that man, Matty Zagar.
Yeah, very impressive out in front, and all the fireworks were going on behind him. I thought for a moment that Howarth was going to turn the bike inside out. He was leg trailing there, but a big battle for 3rd place. But Zagar, once he hits the front, he's a very difficult man to peg back, that's for sure. So just the 2 points in it after the first 3 races. And heat number 4, we'll see Robert Lambert coming out for his first ride of the night. He was so impressive here last week. He's got an issue with the first bike, and it does appear that he's going to go with the second one. So not a nice deal start for the evening for the world number 5. Big signing, eye-catching signing coming into the playoffs, Chris.
Yeah, without question. He's a points machine, he's consistent, and he's riding particularly well at the highest level on the Grand Prix. So yeah, it's not an ideal start for Robert. A little unsettling when you've picked your bike and you know the setup and you know exactly what to expect from it. So I'm sure we're going to see a couple of practice starts while he just sorts everything out.
He's got just over a minute to go, so not panic stations there too much, but nonetheless not an ideal start to the evening for Robert, who was in sparkling form here 7 days ago. And there's no doubt that with Robert in the side, it has strengthened up the Bellevue Aces. When they do a practice start, that back chain can just settle in, so they just take out the slack, make sure that it stays on this big fast track. You don't want the chain coming off, that can be quite uncomfortable.
No, you're absolutely right, you don't.
You know, so just over 30 seconds for Robert to make his way round. He should be okay. Christina Turnbull is our referee this evening. She will do both legs of the final, and one of our highly rated referees in the country, and good to see her here. Heat number 4 then, Connor Mountain off the inside in yellow, Jai Etheridge out of gate 2 in blue, Tobias Mitchell from gate number 3 in white, and Robert Lambert will start the evening from the outside in the red helmet colour, and he'll be hoping that second bike is as fast as the one he chose last week. Oh, nasty looking crash! Oh, they got hooked up there going into the first corner. And Connor Mountain and Jai Etheridge there just literally, well, that was very awkward indeed. And I must say I've got concerns for both of them, actually. Connor Mountain is on his haunches, but they just hit each other quite heavily going into the corner there.
Yeah, just contact on the way to the first turn, and yeah, it was particularly awkward for Jai Etheridge. He got caught on the back of the bike, just couldn't get off it.
Jai Etheridge is still on the track, so we won't show you any replays until we know that both the riders are okay. It's good to see Connor Mountain on his feet, so that's encouraging. Christina Turnbull will have to make a decision here once she sees the replays, whether it will be all 4 of them back or she felt somebody was responsible. But it did look like with Michalak coming across from gate number 3, there wasn't a lot of racing room, but we just keep our fingers crossed that Jai Etheridge okay. We don't want to lose any riders at this early stage, that's for sure. And Jai Etheridge has had his injury problems this year already, so as I say, we just hope that all is well there. Certainly for Connor, just a bit knocked about, but he's making his way back to his pit bay.
Yeah, awkward crash, and yeah, we hope that Jai can get himself up. Such an important part of this Bellevue side. 476 average, and a solid rider, always in the points.
So yes, the ambulance has now entered the track, so there is some concern over young Jai, and as I say, let's just hope it's precautionary. As I say, we've been off to a really competitive start tonight, and Adam Edison, Tobias Mijlak just having a look. This may actually be a bit of a bonus for Robert Lambert. They may well be able to sort out what happened with the #1 bike. So there will be a little bit of extra time in that regard, but we'll see exactly what went on here, Chris.
Yeah, Connor Mountain and Jai Etheridge there is just on the inside, and the actual coming together is before Mijlak gets there. Just one of those things, but a really awkward moment there for Jai Etheridge as he struggles to fight the momentum of the bike and get off the back. It looks to me like it's 50-50. I mean, Connor Mountain's come across, Jai Etheridge is doing his job and trying to go the other way, and I've got to say I would be surprised if the referee didn't order a restart with all four. But yeah, they're both doing their jobs there. It's just unfortunate. It looks like Connor's foot actually goes in Jai Etheridge's, in between the back wheel and the lifting handle.
So it's been confirmed it's an unsatisfactory start, and we'll have all four back to the tapes. Let's just hope that Jai Etheridge can actually take his place in the rerun, because an awkward looking fall, but we've been royally entertained so far with the first 3 races. Just 2 points between the sides with the Bellevue Aces. Just a slender 2-point lead after 3 heats here this evening. Won't be too much longer, and we'll be back with heat number 4.
We're joined by Brady Kurtz, the captain of the Bellevue Aces. Brady, all comes down to these last 2 meetings between you and your biggest rivals, the War of the Roses rivals, Sheffield Tigers. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can say we're feeling good. We've had a great season so far. We've had a lot of good results at home, so we've got to go in with some confidence. That's for sure. That's part of the game, and but we can expect a very hard fight from Sheffield. They're a great side. It's 2 great tracks, and the rest of the season doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about today, and yeah, I think the best team will win.
You were formidable this time last week against the Witches. What happens, because Speedway's unique, it's a team sport, but you don't train as a team, and you come from all over the country on these, well, for playoffs, what are one-off matches. Are you in a WhatsApp group? Are you messaging the guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We all talk quite a lot, actually. It's important to have a great team spirit, and when you come to the track, we can all know that we all get along and we have a bit of a laugh in the change rooms before the meeting, and it definitely relaxes everyone a little bit. And yeah, that's definitely important, and it's something we've had here, and I think that's been part of our success so far, and may let it continue.
Could be an advantage for you guys, or is it like, right, we'll do the one day and we'll think about Thursday?
Yeah, well, obviously we're focused on tonight. We need a great result at home. That's going to be important no matter what. We also need to look at it. A 2-leg series. The Thursday will be equally important, and we haven't had great results. I've heard it a few times, but
Sure.
it's, yeah, obviously it's been spoken about. the fans know that this is their chance, and yeah, we want to bring the trophy home more than anything. And last year was a massive disappointment, and yeah, we need to correct the wrong, and but it's going to be tough for the great side, and hopefully listen to viewing.
You mentioned it's a team sport, but obviously each individual has come to the party. Disappointment last year, you went in the finals, even though you'd made the playoffs. For you personally,
over just comes right over, right out there, white line, right there. So right there, Simon Stead in here and asked me, did he over the both wheels for the white line? Because that right there is an offense. The referee would have picked that up, he would have lost those points. Nobody's seen it, but just so you know, the team managers are watching everything.
thanks, Sam. Eagle eye there. Well, nothing has been said about it, so it looks like we have got away with that incident. Both wheels go over the white line. Calvin, look, the nerves are high tonight. It is the grand final. These two teams, there's not much between them, but they're just some nerves that are possibly coming out onto the track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know, the biggest night of the season domestically, and you know, particularly in heat number 2, you possibly saw the younger lads. They're just a little bit untidy going towards the corner. Unfortunate for Jai Etheridge. It's good to see him up on his feet, but I think you know, nerves play a huge part in any sport, and particularly on an evening like this. It's how you control them, but you've got to have a few butterflies in your tummy, haven't you, Chris? Because otherwise you're not going to be feeling it. You're not going to be able to get the adrenaline really going.
Yeah, it's a different night. You know, this is a grand final. If you can't build yourself up and feel slightly different for this, then there's got to be something wrong. You know, you've got to be able to give that little bit more tonight.
Yep, and we've already seen some sparkling action. I wouldn't be surprised. You actually suggested it, Chris, that they may make a actually go with Norwich Ladorn and give Jai Etheridge a little longer to recover from that night tumble. But we'll wait and see if he does make that choice. Not Bledorn, a good winner. He was unbeaten on Monday last week, and Tobias Michalak has been doing a great job for the Sheffield Tigers. So here we go then. Number 4. Good start there off of the inside. Bledorn coming up the inside. It's neck and neck with Tobias Michalak now coming through into second place. But look at Lambert roaring round the outside in turns 3 and 4. But keep your eyes on Lambert. Lambert lets him run wide. Here we go. Down the back straight once again. Robert Lambert absolutely loves this track. Fires himself to the front. Connor Mountain well in second place. Hanging on for third, but it's right with him and Bledorn now on the inside.
Oh yeah, Bledorn again. Pick around the inside. Muziak now back. Robert Lambert though using all the space, all the width, all the bank here of great ride from Connor Mountain. He's just hanging in there. Another 3 points for the Tigers. We'll do that.
Through the last corner, Robert Lambert in a class of his own once again, but the Sheffield Tigers packing in for second and third. And it's still just 2 points between the two teams. Lambert wasn't away well there. And a little bit greasy out there. It is cool tonight. It's chilly. So once he got wound up, crikey, there was no holding him back, roaring around the outside in turns 1 and 2, and Robert Lambert remains unbeaten here at Belle, representing the Aces. another stunning performance from him. But no real damage done as regards the Tigers, that's for sure. 3 points for Robert Lambert. Second place, Connor Mountain. 2 points for him. Good ride from Connor Mountain. Tobias Mujilek picks up 3rd point. Bledorm misses out, but crikey, put a lot of pressure on Mujilek throughout the 4 laps. Good two-way race.
Yeah, great race and a great start. Connor Mountain off the inside there in yellow. Mujilek at this point looks like he's going to join him. Just battles there with Norik Bledorm on the inside, but Robert Lambert is out of shot at the beginning, but he's just winding it up. He's using the bank, using the space out in the dirt, and they can't quite generate enough speed to do both the Sheffield Tigers in one turn. But he only needs one more corner to hit the front and pretty much check out. Just nearly hit the back wheel there, actually, as he was maybe thinking of a cutback on Mujilek, and then he just roars straight out the bank. And then again, as we head into turn 1 and 2 on the second lap, around the outside of Connor Mountain, who had a terrific start. It's a great race, both these Tigers. Under pressure for Bledorm for a couple of laps, but another. Fast engines used to riding on the continent on the big wide tracks, and certainly in the UK this is as near as you're going to get to that.
Indeed it is. Second spell Zagar, a few seasons away. Had a good start on the inside gate. How's the bike to run up ranking? It's Jack Holder! Oh, he's just slammed into the side of Charles Wright. Red lights are on. Oh, another crash! Oh my goodness!
It's a heavy one.
Oh. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, there was definitely contact between Charles Wright and Jack Holder down the back straight, but then I think
it was a consequence of the lights coming on.
Yeah, I think Zagar reacted and slowed down, and Jack Holder hadn't.
No, he was in race mode, head down. Need to see that again, but I think that is a consequence of the race being stopped and Jack Holder maybe not realising.
Yeah, I tend to agree there, because Zagar had throttle off a bit. Charles Wright up and about, but there was no doubt that he was collected on through there. It was a really eye-catching move for Jack Holder. We'll see if Jack Holder's still on the track. Let's see it again, Chris.
Yeah, first Holder on the outside. He hasn't got a outside. He hasn't got across. You can see he's looking across, realises that he's got to make the cutback. Does that now? The gap is getting ever smaller. Louis Kerr's just coming across. Charles Wright trying to stop his run, and he's just trying to turn left a little bit, but he did nothing wrong. Just got caught, and self-preservation. Now the race gets stopped. The lights are on now. Yeah, I'm not sure if Jack Holder was aware or not. I think he possibly was. He could just do nothing about missing the back of
Zagar kind of just drifted across the track as he was slowing up.
Yeah, just looking at that first turn again, and Jack Holder makes an early decision, got to cut back. Now he knows he's got to go through the gap in the middle. He realises it's tight, just catches Charles Wright there on the way through.
Big decision
no malice in that. I've got to say, he was in front when it happened. So a difficult decision for referee Christina Turnbull to make, because he could say that Jack Holder hasn't really come off his line and he is in front.
This is the moment when you just watch the body language from Zago. Zago's cruising now, but he actually cruises across the track.
Yeah.
And of course, Jack Holder is trying to react and just slams in the back of him.
Yeah, you see the flame come out of the silencer. That's when Jack Holder has shut the throttle off. The bike straightens up, and he just can't miss the back of Matty Zago.
So two riders on the track. Big decision for Christina Turnbull, the referee, to make. I fear that. Yeah, the rider in white.
Wow. Could have gone either way, that one.
Yeah, Jack Holder, his evening has not started as he would have planned. And clearly a 50-50 call there, you would suggest. He did have his nose in front, but there was contact. And Charles Wright has gone down, but good to see Jack Holder up and about. So...
Yeah, it was actually a similar incident as we saw in the Grand Prix with, I think it was Dudek and Jason Doyle. And it's the same again, it's the same referee decision. You know, I'd need to see it again, but Jack Holder doesn't seem to come off his line. He's ridden through a gap that is there. And
it's hard either way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 50-50.
It's a tough one either way, and I feel for Charles Wright, but as I say, it's one of those racing incidents, no malice involved, but a few repairs, running repairs to the air fence where Jack Holder's bike went tumbling in. But Simon Stead just going to have a chat with the referee just to run through exactly why his rider has been excluded. But very rarely change their decision, a referee, once they've put the exclusion light on. And for Jack Holder, no points from 2 rides. That's a blow for the Sheffield Tigers.
Yeah, there's just 2 points in it. And as you say, he's had a last place and an exclusion. Tough night for him so far.
OK, let's get some reaction now. We'll go back down to Abby in the pits.
Calvin, thank you. Tough call there, Sam. Would you've gone that way?
No, I think that was a first turn incident, to be fair. I know they were coming off the corner, but the action in the corner was Holder turning back to get his wheels in line, and unfortunately they cross paths, and you can't avoid that. You can't put the brakes on it, right? And I think when Jack Holder went down the straightaway, the referee kind of was watching the incident, put the red light on, and that's kind of a no-no for us riders. We want to see the red light come on when we're down the straightaway.
Hold that thought, Sam. Let's hear from Simon Stead. He's with Brando.
Simon, you had a word with the referee. You plainly disagreed with that decision?
Yeah, but you know, they made the decision. I just wanted to understand their reasoning and how she saw it. We saw it different, but you know, you have to take it on the chin. You can't change their decision as much as you might disagree with it. So unfortunate for Jack. I think it was the wrong call, but it is what it is. So over to Louis and see what he can do in this one.
A long way to go over the 2 legs of the final. A fairly good start for Sheffield so far, though.
Yeah, it has been a good start. We just need to try and keep that momentum. Difficult when you've only got 1 rider in the race, but it has been a positive start. Every rider's shown what they can do. Couple of changes in the pits, a couple of alterations to bikes to try and improve them. So, see how we go.
Louis Kerr's been a good signing for Sheffield, hasn't he? I mean, he sort of revitalised this season coming to you from Kings Lynn.
Yeah, he's really enjoyed himself. I think he's riding with a smile on his face. Look, I don't know what happened at Kings Lynn, but sometimes you do need to move away. He'd been involved with Kings Lynn for a long, long time, and sometimes you just need, to rejuvenate yourself and a new club, a fresh approach, and maybe somebody different in the pits with him. So he's been great for us. He's rode really solid. The first couple of meetings he was great, and that's just continued from there, and he's, like I said, he's got a smile on his face, which always helps score more points.
Thanks, Simon. Abby, back to you.
Brando, thank you. Sam, these sorts of moments can really change the momentum of a meeting for a side, and Sheffield Tigers, I think, would be happy with that 2-point margin. But now Jack Holder has had a tough time. This is a real difficult evening so far for him, and Louis Kerr is going to have to go out and do the job.
Yeah, he's going to have to go out there and represent Sheffield in that one. But Jack Holder, in this replay we're seeing right here, he does a great job to get himself right in the position he needs to be. And right there, the referee should have went by the real rule is when you're in front, you kind of lead it. And he was actually in front in that one right there, so I don't really know why she made that decision. But this is the dangerous part right there, where Zagar's seen the red light because he's obviously in front, thinking, okay, I'm just going to drift around the corner. And unfortunately, Jack didn't see it either.
Well, it's great to see Jack Holder on his feet, even though he won't be appearing in the restaging of Heat 5. Let's rejoin our commentators of Calvin and Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Abby. And a bit of controversy then. Always spices it up, that's for sure. But just the 3 representatives this time. Heat number 5 then, Zagar off the inside in red. Louis Kerr out of gate number 2 in yellow. Charles Wright out of gate number 3 in blue. And Jack Holder, of course, is excluded from the rerun. So all the pressure for the Tigers is on Louis Kerr. Had a really good ride in the opening race where he won it. So he's got the speed, but he's going to have to make a really big start here because this is a big opportunity for the home team.
It is, yeah. I've got a feel for Jack Holder. You know, he's been in the thick of the action. He's been fully committed in both of his races so far, and he's come away pointless. And that's a tough start for him because he has been there or thereabouts.
Yeah, empty-handed, so yeah, but I'm sure that he will bounce back in the latter stages and come through with some points. They're going to need him, that's for sure. But right now, in heat number 5, the Bellevue Aces have got an opportunity that they will find out. And Louis Kerr will do something special now for a way to have a great start. Get there, not quite. Zagar's hit the first turn in front, up the bank, and here comes Wright round the outside as well. Louis Kerr hanging on, has a sneaky look over his right shoulder, but Charles Wright absolutely determined to come through in the second place, and the Aces in the front. Big 5-1, first 5-1 of the 9 on the cards here. Look at Zagar, up the banking. Good, I love the way he rides the motorbike. Terrific stuff from him. Charles Wright got the better of Louis Kerr in the early stages, and they're set for a 5-1.
Yeah, this is going to be a real nerve settler for the Aces, and you can see right from the first turn Charles Wright's intentions were to follow Matty Zagar around the dirt line. He did that beautifully on Louis Kerr, and this is going to be 5 big points for the Aces as they settle their nerves and extend their lead to 6 points.
Here we go then. One last blast. I'm going to say Louis Kerr is right on the pace here. Fair play to him. He's giving it everything he can in third place, but the Aces are just too strong in heat number 5. The first time they really stamped some authority on this grand final. And moving along nicely now. 6-point advantage, as you rightly say. Zagar so smart in the first corner. Looked like Louis Kerr had made a great jump there, but on the run and on the entrance to the first corner, Zagar just was able to utilise that inside line, straight up the banking, and from then on, holding him back in a hard-charging ride from Charles Wright to come through to join his teammate out in front. So the result then of heat number 5 is a 5-1 for the Aces. Zagar out in front, 2 points for Charles Wright in second, 1 point for Louis Kerr, who was on the pace, he was right there, 1 point for him, and Jack Holder disqualified. But really and truthfully, once Wright had got by here, it was plain sailing for the Aces.
Yes, it was, yeah. Louis Kerr actually made the better jump coming from gate 2, the rider in yellow there. But Matty Zagar just forced his way through on the first turn, got the bike driving all the way to the corner, run straight up the banking, and straight away here you can see Charles Wright has learned from that lesson. He just says, okay, I'm going to follow Matty Zagar, that's the fastest way round. Just rides right around the dirt line there. And Louis Kerr, he did move out later on, but he just needed to be committed maybe on that first lap. But that's a big 5 points for the Aces. It's really going to settle them down.
Yeah. Indeed, it's been nip and tuck up until that point, and as I say, the Sheffield Tigers have started solidly here this evening, but all of a sudden they took advantage when they needed to. Need a bit of good fortune sometimes in the grand final. Bellevue Aces so often have come up short at this stage of the season, but right now, after 5 races, they are 6 points up, and Zagar is unbeaten so far. Gate number 6 then. Tobias Mijelak goes from the inside in white. Brady Kurtz out of gate number 2 in red. Gate number 3 in yellow is Justin Sedgman, and Tom Brennan will go from the outside in blue. And Sam was saying he had the wrong helmet colour in heat in his first ride. I tell you what, he's got the right helmet colour on this time. And that's good news, because you can get pulled up for that. So quite clearly, if that was the case, the referee didn't didn't spot it either. But that young man off the outside, this is a big race for him.
Yeah, a massive race for him, and he can be so fast here around the National Speedway Stadium track. And we saw him put in a decent performance, certainly in the first attempt to run the British final here. Was a joint leader in that meeting, and then a decent meeting as well, of course, in the completed second time around. So knows his way around here.
He does indeed. It was a brilliant effort from Tom Brennan, finishing second.
Yep.
And I must say that that was quite a feather in his cap. He won the Speedway of Nations here last year, of course, with Team Great Britain. And as I say, his CV is ever expanding, that's for sure. So can the Sheffield Tigers bounce back with Michelak and Sedgman? Points behind right now. Great start on the inside, Sedgman's there, but Brady goes, what a move from Brennan. That's a fabulous first turn from him. A charge there, but I tell you what, Sedgman's done a fine bit of riding there to get the better of Brady Kurtz, coming through in the second place. Michelak out in front. Sedgman's under massive pressure. Here comes Kurtz. Whoa, block pass up the inside in turns 1 and 2. He responds, just about hanging on for third place. Fabulous Speedway once again here in heat number 6. Michelak is away. Sedgman now. Can he hang on to third place?
Sedgman coming under fire and having another look there at Brady Kurtz. Important block pass from Brady Kurtz just to get himself ahead of Justin Sedgman. But now it's the turn of Tom Brennan to look for a way past. But the rider in front, Tobias Muzak, really checking out, enjoying himself.
Indeed he is. He's down the back straight for the last time in heat number 6. He's through turns 3 and 4. Brilliant ride from him. Kurtz coming through in second place, but the Sheffield Tigers pick up that vital third place there. And they bounce back. Oh, this is tense stuff here in the National Speedway Stadium in the first leg of the grand final. Michelak looking red hot in heat number 6, but the hard charging Kurtz there, block pass into second place. Tough Speedway in the grand final here. And they reduced the deficit to 4 points. Here's the result then of heat number 6. Michelak out in front, 3 points. Brady Kurtz coming through into second place, 2 points for him. Sedgman, good ride from Sedgman, needed to be, 1 point for him. And Brennan failing to score in heat number 6. But once again, real determination from Speedway boys out there tonight.
Yeah, Simon said will be very pleased, I think, the way his team have responded here. Great from the start, and Justin Sedgman just not able to get a clean run, but he generates loads of speed down the back straight and overtakes both the Bellevue boys after making a decent enough start. But this is the point now, Justin Sedgman, just where we can see both the Bellevue boys looking for out the inside, but it's Brady Kurtz that steals the march and just makes one of those massive block passes, and it was very important to do it. And you just knew that Justin Sedgman knew he was coming because he got out of the throttle very, very quickly. At this point, Tom Brennan's looking for an opportunistic move out the inside, but can't quite pull it off. And quite an important third place heat advantage for Sheffield.
It's too hard, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can never accuse him of not trying hard enough, that's for sure. He only knows one way. It's throttle wide open, leg back. But no, I enjoy watching Kyle ride. He's a great rider, he's a great guy, and he does a good job capturing in this Sheffield Tiger. Side. But I've got to say, Bellevue looks strong here. Norrick Ladorn and, of course, Robert Lambert off the inside. They're probably on the slightly favoured gates as it stands at the moment too.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Adam Ellis is going to have to try and clamp Robert Lambert on the curve going into the first corner here if he wants to hang on out in front. Lambert hits the front. Barring any mechanical issue, I suggest it's going to be very difficult to peg him back. But the Sheffield Tigers are certainly doing a good job here tonight. We go down the back side. Final speedway. Lambert to the first corner. Ellis has followed him through. Howarth round the outside, just about getting the better of Bledorn. Howarth coming on strong, roaring into the bottom corner. Ellis has left the door open for Bledorn. Howarth has made a mistake and has gone to the back. Disappointment for Carl Howarth. Here we see Robert Lambert out in front. Adam Ellis coming on strong in second place, but Bledorn, the young German rider, took the opportunity with both hands there, Chris.
Yeah, he certainly did. He just he knew exactly where to go. Kyle Howarth, once again, I don't know if the big event is getting to him tonight. Just seems to be overriding a little bit. It's the second time we've seen him make a mistake like that, where he just overturns the bike, loses all traction on the back wheel. But I tell you what, he's having another big go at Bledorn here.
Lambert's away out in front, looking absolutely majestic. Adam Ellis, here comes Howarth. Howarth now down the back straight. One last big effort from him. Jumps back to the outside, trying to square the corner off, but it looks like the 6-point advantage is going to be returned for the Aces. Robert Lambert, unbeaten out of 7 rides for the Aces, going along very nicely indeed, and another 4-2 for the home team. We've on to 24 points, and it's 18 points to the Sheffield Tigers. You can't try any harder than that, I tell you. He didn't score a point. He gave it absolutely everything. But this man, what a signing it's been. 15-point maximum last week on his debut, and then 2 rides, 2 wins here this evening. Could he be the difference and see Bellevue win their first league title since 1993? That is quite an incredible amount of time. Heat number 7, the result. Robert Lambert out in front, 3 points. Adam Ellis back in second place, 2 for him. Norwich Bledorn, a good ride from Bledorn to come through in third place, and Carl Howarth fails to score, but I think if there was a whip round, I think he'll get plenty.
Yeah, he would. He's giving 100% effort, and you can see Robert Lambert there, great start from the inside, looks over his right-hand side to see if he can see young Norwich Bledorn, but he's battling away with Kyle Howarth at the back. Kyle goes in on the outside of his teammate there, just catches a load of grip going into the corner and then turns the bike too hard, nearly turns it inside out, and that allowed Norwich Bledorn up the inside. And well, Adam Ellis hangs on to second place, but we can see there Kyle Howarth. You know, it's just too much effort, if anything. You know, he's slightly overriding tonight. And you know, he wants to do well for his team, but if you'd have said to me after 2 rides each, Jack Holder and Kyle Howarth would be pointless, I wouldn't have believed you.
No, they're only 6 points down, so just shows you how the rest of the team are going along quite nicely, and it's tough out there tonight. Robert Lambert, of course, is just in majestic form, unbeaten again here this evening with 2 rides and 2 wins, as is Matty Zagar. But there's no doubt there is an awful long way to go. We are approaching the midway point of the first leg in the grand final, and there's just 6 points in it. The Bellevue Aces are just out in front. Terrific speedway so far. Plenty more to come.
A reminder of how things stand after 7 heats. It's 6 points in it. The Aces 24, Tigers 18. So it's a fiercely fought contest, and it's had its drama and controversy already, and we're not even at the halfway point yet. A reminder of all the sport coming your way. Cycling Pro Series from the Tour of Langkawi is on Eurosport 1 tomorrow at 9 o'clock. UCI Track Cycling, the World Champs, is on Wednesday at 10 to 6 on Eurosport 1. And then Alpine Skiing from Solden, the World Cup, 15th and 16th of October. We are now joined by 3-time world champion Jason Crump. He rode for Bellevue for 7 years, but he reminded me that he didn't win anything. This possibly could be Bellevue's year. It's going their way at the moment, Jason, but still a load of speedway to come.
Yeah, it's really tight at the moment. Sheffield are putting up a great fight, and we knew that, you know, looking at the way the teams finished in the league table, we knew it would be really tight, and it's been great speedway so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the night.
What's it like watching as a fan?
It's different, but, you know, you get used to it in time, and, you know, normally I watch it on TV, listening to Kelvin and Sam giving their opinions on it all, and it's pretty cool, but it's good to be on this side of the fence, and I'm probably grey enough now that I should definitely be this side of the fence.
We know that you travel with Robert Lambert in his corner in the Grand Prix Series, 7 rides here in Bellevue colours, and unbeaten in 7 rides.
Yeah, look, Robert's doing really well. He's in the top group of riders in the world now, and fully deserves to be. I think the way he finished his Grand Prix year off this year was spectacular, actually, and he's carrying that form into his British stint with Bellevue, and hopefully it can be the start of something more, and, you know, a few of these guys coming back from European Speedway to compete in the British scene would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jason mentioned how much speedway there is to come, but do you think Bellevue could edge the win tonight?
I really hope they do. I'm Bellevue through and through, so it's one of the reasons I'm here. Although I'm great mates with Simon Stead, I want to see good speedway, but I'd like Bellevue to sneak it.
Jason, thank you. Heat 8 then, and to Kelvin and Chris.
Thank you, Abby. Gate number 8 then with Norbert Bladorn, who's a busy man, going from the inside in blue helmet colour. Gate number 2 in yellow is Colin Mountain, going along nicely. Tom Brennan comes out of gate number 3 in red, and Louis Kerr off the outside in white. Big race this, heat number 8. And Connor Mountain doing a good job. Tom Brennan probably not at his best so far this evening, needs to just pick it up a bit.
Yeah, he does, Tom. A couple of points from him tonight, but Tom Brennan and Norbert Bladorn, a couple of real racers who know their way around this track. Got to say, Connor Mountain and Louis Kerr, both known for their fast starting. Will be an interesting one, this.
Well, indeed. The Sheffield Tigers, who are hanging tough, and when you consider that Jack Holder and Carl Howarth haven't scored this evening from 2 outings each, they've done very well to hang on. Brilliant stuff out of gate number 3. He's joined by his teammate in the first turn. Down the outside comes Louis Kerr. Kerr coming on strong through the turns 3 and 4. Good effort from Louis Kerr around the outside. Gets the better of Norris Bladorn. But Bladorn trying to respond up the inside. It's going to get close. Yes. Louis Kerr, Bladorn down the back straight. Louis Kerr now slams the door shut. Got to say, Tom Brennan turning on the star here out of gate number 3 and looking fast at himself.
Yeah, Bladorn showing that same determination again, looking for a way to squeeze up the inside. It's got so much speed. He's really got it working well. Louis Kerr knows he's got to keep that door shut, just opening it a little bit as he leaves the corner. He has got to have eyes in the back of his head.
As indeed, Brennan's got this one in his back pocket. Louis Kerr, under immense pressure, has ridden well to hang on to second place. One last turn for the riders now. Tom Brennan, sparkling ride from there. He won comfortably. Louis Kerr hanging on there. Bladorn throwing everything at him. Couldn't quite get by. Kerr had to ride with eyes in the back of his head there. Connor Mountain missing out. But it is a 4-2 to the home team. 2 consecutive 4-2s, and they're stretching the lead once again. All of a sudden, the home team beginning to stamp their authority on the meeting. So, moving along nicely. 8-point lead now after 8 races this evening. So Tom Brennan out in front, 3 points for him. Louis Kerr, a hard-charging ride in second place. Loic Bladorn, the same for him, 1 point. And Connor Mountain missing out in heat number 8. But Once again, I've got to say, Louis Kerr needed these 2 points just to reduce the deficit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and a really determined move on this first lap, as both Brennan and Bladorn make great starts. You can see Bladorn just looking over his right shoulder, just deciding whether he needs to leave a gap or not, but I don't think he expected Louis Kerr to be coming around the outside quite that quickly, and Louis Kerr now just having a little look, seeing whether he should maintain his run wide around the dirt line or whether he needs to come across and stop Bladorn. But that's certainly what he had to do later on in the race, because Bladorn just kept working the inside and working it really, really well, making the bike drive hard up the inside. And more than once, Louis Kerr had to shut the door and turn the bike harder than he ordinarily would want to, but he just wasn't able to continue to generate the speed. He's riding mid-track. Maybe he had to make a full commitment and ride out a little bit wider than that.
Yeah, maybe, but Tom Brennan got away nicely from gate number 3 and won in fine style, moving on to 5 points from his 3 outings so far. And all of a sudden has come to the party there in heat number 8. So heat number 9 then, Charles Wright from the inside in blue, Tobias Michalak out of gate number 2 in white, Matty Zagar unbeaten so far this evening, gate number 3 in red, and Justin Sedgman doing a good job as well, gate number 4 in yellow. Big hitters here, looking forward to Michalak and Zagar going head-to-head. Jai Etheridge, well, he looks very second-hand there and quite clearly not up to riding again tonight. Let's hope that he's okay for Thursday. But a nasty-looking spill he had earlier on. But got to say, Michalak, very impressive last time. Zagar unbeaten. This could be quite a tussle here.
Yeah, certainly could. Zagar has looked pretty much unbeatable, to be honest, along with Robert Lambert, 2 unbeaten riders for the Aces. And you've got to say that's been the difference with Jack Holder, Kyle Howe struggling for Sheffield. They need to get those 2 going, but Muzak and Sedgman preparing for Sheffield here.
Yeah, Sedgman, who came into the team, he wasn't riding for the team at the beginning of the season, but has done a good job for Sheffield, just like Louis Kerr has. So the 2 big hitters, 2 starts. Here we go then. But so is Charles Wright. It's tight in the first corner, right, pushing Michalak wider, Michalak round the outside. Here comes Zagar as well. Michalak's done very, very well there to hang on out in front, because Charles Wright really did put the pressure on. And a turn number 3. Zagar now coming through into second place, but that Michalak really gutsy in the first turn.
Yeah, Charles Wright took him as far as he possibly could to stop his run around the outside. Couldn't quite manage to do it, and now Zagar, he hasn't got his favourite spot out front. He doesn't seem to be able to use the dirt line. He knows Charles Wright's out there. I tell you what, these guys are getting wider and wider and wider.
Look at Michalak, he is loving it out there. Oh, Charles Wright! Oh, nasty crash from Charles Wright. Red lights on. Oh, just got sucked in there on the dirt line, and the bike pulled him too hard. Bike got away from him, Chris, and he just couldn't hang on to it.
He was just chasing Muzak and just thought, yeah, well, if you're going to go wide, I can go wider. But he, you know, the race had settled down. He didn't need to do it. He wasn't going to catch Muzak. Even if he did, he wasn't going to find a way past.
Misjudgment then from Charles Wright. Let's hope he's okay. High-speed crash. Really high-speed crash. The race will be awarded. And that is then a heat advantage then for the Sheffield Tigers, with Sedgman being promoted into third place, if that is the result. But Ryder's just having a look at the replays. But Charles Wright is on the track and looking quite knocked about here. So the result then of heat number 9, which has been called, Tobias Michalak wins the race 3 points. Zagar back in second place 2 points. Sedgman inherits third place as a consequence of Charles Wright biting the dust in turns 3 and 4. But a very heavy crash for Charles Wright, and certainly some concern for him right now.
Yeah, Mark Lemon will certainly be a concerned man. It was one of those unnecessary moments, in my opinion, but heavy, awkward-looking fall. We've got to be hoping that he's going to be able to get up from that one. Obviously, already missing Jai Etheridge. They do not need to be another man down.
Indeed, and a hush comes over the stadium, and when you see a rider going down at that speed, and it really was at full speed, he was in that dirt. So there's no doubt that a lot of concern for Charles Wright right now. He's been in the wars once or twice this season already. But there's no doubt that they're going to take every precaution required for Charles Wright here. So we will see exactly what the outcome of that is. But this National Speedway Stadium is hard and fast, and when you're going that wide, a small mistake and you get sucked into the fence.
Yeah, both riders were fully committed, riding within, I would say, less than a metre of the fence at times. And yeah, tough one for Charles.
Okay, let's while we have a pause here for Charles Wright, let's get some reaction now with Steve Brandon.
Thanks, Kelvin. Robert Lambert, your Bellevue career so far, 7 rides, 7 wins. You can't do much better than that.
No, it's going okay at the moment. You know, we take race by race, and yeah, it's we're having a few stops and starts tonight, but yeah, hopefully we can get things rolling a bit more now after this, and hope Charles is okay. We need him.
You had some mechanical fun and games before your first ride. Just can you talk me through what happened?
Yeah, there was a little ball bearing on the lever. The clutch was just broke up, but we jumped on the second bike. That was no good off a start, but I managed to fix it because there was a rerun again, so we're on bike number 1 again.
Playoff Speedway is always close and always nip and tuck, and it looks like it's going to be this over the 2 legs between yourselves and Sheffield.
Definitely, obviously, you know, there's a reason why Sheffield are here with us as well. You know, they're 2 of the best teams in the league are now fighting out for the gold. So, you know, we're all out there giving it what we can, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Keep up the good work, sir. Chris, Kelvin, back to you for the moment.
Thanks, Steve, and good to see that Charles did actually get to his feet here, but he there's no doubt that he is looking quite knocked about there, and no surprise at all when you get off the bike at such a high speed. So let's keep our fingers crossed that he's okay. They've already lost 1 rider tonight, the Bellevue Aces. They can ill afford to lose another one, Chris, and this is well, these are big moments for the Bellevue Aces right now.
Yeah, this, you know, we've got to hope that Charles is okay, because this could be a turning point in this meeting tonight. As I said earlier, Mark Lemon's already lost his flexibility with his reserve.
Okay, let's get some more reaction now with Mark Lemon joining Steve Brandon.
Thanks, Kelvin. Mark, a quick update on Charles?
Yeah, he's taken a big one, hasn't he? So he's obviously just really sort of blown a bit at the moment, and obviously going to get checked out, so he wasn't really saying a whole bunch, which is probably a bit of a worry when Charles, because he's a hardy kind of guy, but he's stepping out of the ambulance now. So yeah, I'd be surprised if we see him again tonight. You know, they seem to be dropping like flies. But, we hardly see any crashes around this place, and then tonight we see a plenty. So not ideal, but we're going to have to muster the troops and battle on.
Having lost Jai already, a quick word on Norwick Bloodhorn for an 18-year-old really stepping up tonight.
Yeah, he has done all year. You know, he came in pretty raw when it's, you know, obviously to come to the British scene. And he's just developed, and he's been like a sponge all year, just taking up all the advice from all the senior riders. And just each week we just see him progress, and you know, it's a real credit to himself, and he's just a real little pro.
Still 6 races to go tonight. We'll get the 2 minutes on the next one. Thanks, Mark. Chris, Kelvin, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. And concern there on Mark Lemon's face, and no surprise. Good to see John McGuinness here again, alongside and having a chat with Jason Crump. But this Bellevue Aces, you know, they have so many times got to the finals, and then something happens and something trips them up, and let's hope that that's not the case this year around. But certainly they've had a couple of riders hit the deck very hard indeed.
Yeah, just taking a look at the race again, Tobias Muzak hits the front, and a real tough opening first corner and back straight there as Charles Wright pushes him as far as he can. And Tobias knows he's got to just shut the door entering the corner. Then he's got to find the traction, because he knows Matti Zagar is a very fast cookie behind him. But controls the first lap very well, Tobias Muzak, to hit the front, and then really does ride very, very quickly. And I've got to say, very, very wide. And Charles Wright just following him and just trying to work out if he could go quicker, if he could make that ground up. But the race had settled down. And, you know, it was sort of one of those unnecessary mistakes, really. Now you can see Tobias Muzak in front, riding very wide, right out there, having to turn the bike a little bit hard. But Charles Wright just can't do it. He just can't keep the bike turned, straightens up, hits the fence, goes down very awkwardly.
Do you think that possibly as a consequence of a grand final night? Just possibly, you know, again, trying to push on a bit too hard?
I think Mark Lemon said it, you know, they haven't seen hardly any crashes here all season, and tonight they're seeing a few, and that is the fact that these guys are where they would ordinarily give 100%, they're just giving a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so we keep our fingers crossed that Charles Wright can take his remaining rides this evening. They will need him, of course. They won't want to go down to 5 riders. They're already down to 6, so heat 10 is now rapidly approaching. 6-point margin as a consequence of all the fireworks there. Sheffield Tigers did benefit, and they picked up a heat advantage, so they closed in once again. And despite the fact that they're not firing on all cylinders, they are keeping it tight here tonight, and they'll be relatively pleased about that with just a 6-point deficit. And they'll be very keen this time for that man, Carl Howard, to get amongst the points in heat number 10. The line-up then is Tom Brennan on the inside in blue. Carl Howard comes away from gate number 2 in yellow. Brady Kurtz, gate number 3 in red. And off the outside in white is Adam Ellis. Ellis has had a couple of rides and 4 points, going along steadily, doing a solid job. And I've got to say, it's kind of going for them a little bit, the Sheffield Tigers, with 1 or 2 mishaps here and there. Bellevue will probably feel at this stage they would want a bigger lead.
Yeah, and they'll be looking for something a little bit more maybe from Brady Kurtz. He's been on the pace, but he's failed to grab a race win in his first couple of rides. Of course, that's been covered by Zagar and Lambert, who have dropped just 1 point between them.
So Kurtz looking for his first win of the night, and he's going to be very keen to do it here. That's for sure. Number 3. Brennan on the inside and the outside. Certainly Brady Kurtz coming on strong. Brilliant first corner from the aces. Sharp away from the tapes, and Brennan doing the business initially, and Kurtz right out by the fence. Coming on strong. Carl Howard and Ahmed Ellis being outpaced at this stage. Oh, crikey!
He's had it again.
How on earth does Howard that come to the box? Oh, he's doing it again. Leg trailing round turns 3 and 4. Kurtz is out in front, looking good. Tom Brennan back in second place.
Yeah, Tom Brennan doing a good job, steady job, just filling the gap behind Brady Kurtz. Brady, meanwhile, is extending that lead, but it's a little bit of a grippy patch as you enter into turn 3. If you're out wide, and it's caught 1 or 2 of the riders out. And certainly Kyle Howard using every ounce of track. He's got absolutely no answer for these Bellevue boys out front.
Last corner to go then, in heat number 10, and Brady Kurtz wins his first race of the night, and it's a huge 5-1. The home team, the crowd on their feet, loving that. And all of a sudden, after a topsy-turvy night, certainly that just gives them a bit of a cushion there with a 10-point lead after heat number 10. A vital 5-1 for the home team. That's the minimum they were talking about as a requirement going to Allerton on Thursday evening. I want to maintain that. It's been hard yards tonight, and that's what you expect in the grand final, that's for sure. But all of a sudden, with a 10-point lead, the Aces will be a touch more relaxed right now. As a result of heat number 10, Brady Kurtz out in front, 3 points for him. Tom Brennan, a brilliant start out of gate number 3, 2 points for him. Carl Howard, well, I just don't know how he's doing it. 1 point for him, and Adam Ellis misses out for the first time tonight. But handy 5-1 for the home team here, Chris.
Yeah, no lack of effort from Kyle Howard to do something about it, but it's the Bellevue boys with Tom Brennan on the inside there. Brady Kurtz just backs his bike into the berm. You can see the bike just takes off and it hits the front. You can see, meanwhile, the rider in yellow there, Kyle Howard, working the outside. Just keeps getting a little bit too much grip as he enters turn 3. That unsettles the bike. Then he has to turn harder than he really wants to. And he just can't find a smooth way around the outside to make up the pace on these Bellevue boys. But that's a big 5 points from Bellevue. 10-point lead. That should settle things down for them a little bit. They're going to want to hope that Charles Wright is able to ride. I have my doubts, but heat 14, they're going to be exposed with Norrick Ladorn already in that one.
Yeah, absolutely right. We'll wait and see. Great onboard shots here. And there's no doubt that Brady Kurtz will be chuffed to bits to win his first race of the night. And when you consider that they stretch the lead out to 10 points, that's good news for the Bellevue Aces. But there's so much more racing to come here. Got to say, this latter half of the meeting is certainly going to be action-packed. That man now will be much happier about affairs after winning his first race and doubling his score after his third ride. And there's no doubt that the Bellevue Aces will be looking to try and extend it in heats 11 through to 15, that's for sure. So we've enjoyed a smashing night at Speedway so far. It's been action-packed, and we've got heat number 11 when you come back.
We do. Let's crack on then, Neil. Over to you in the box.
Yeah, I do have some unfortunate news to announce. Charles Wright has now officially withdrawn from the meeting. So we are down to 5 riders. Charles Wright officially withdrawn from the meeting this evening.
Welcome back to the National Speedway Stadium. After 10 heats, there's a 10-point cushion. Aces have 35 points to Tigers 25. And a team meeting was taking place. It's tall orders now for Bellevue. They possibly could be without 2 riders. Charles Wright also taking a high-speed crash. They lost Jai Etheridge earlier on this evening. Well, we are now in the company of motorcycling legend. Isle of Man, TT, 23 victories, 47 podiums, an absolute giant of the two-wheel motorsport, and a huge Speedway fan, John McGuinness. John, you were here in the commentary booth with Kelvin last week. You then went to Sheffield. You're back here again. You love this sport, don't you?
No, everything's just working out perfect for me. All my dates with working around my race, and I always try and plan them out so I can get to all as many matches as I can. And yeah, they're all working out perfect. The weather's quite cool, but the racing's red hot on track, and I just really enjoy it. I grew up around it and went to the racing with my dad years and years ago, and just followed it right through to now. So.
There's been some drama out on the track tonight. I suppose that edge comes with just wanting it so much. It is the grand finals. 2 crashes, and now we have been told that Charles Wright won't be appearing again this evening. That's a big blow for Bellevue.
Yeah, it's a shame. The boys are putting on such a show. They're really trying hard. Like you say, it's the grand final, and they want to score the points. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. And fingers crossed these boys are going to be okay and maybe be able to ride on the Thursday. But yeah, it's grand final time. Everything's on the line, and they're doing an amazing job. It's just a shame. This is what comes with the sport sometimes,
John, can we steal you for a bit longer? We're going to go to Heat 11, but we'd love to keep you and your analysis. Great, we've got him. He said yes. Back to you, Kelvin and Chris.
Thanks, Abby. Great to see here John, as he was last week. Really enjoyed our 3 heats that we commentated together. It was tough for him because he didn't have a programme, so he wasn't quite sure who was on the start line at times, but nobody heard John, I'm sure. But smashing to see him here again this evening. 10-point lead, Chris, and crunch time for the Tigers, particularly that man on screen right now, Jack Holder, 2 rides and hasn't scored so far. So heat number 11. Off the inside is Jack Holder in white. Gate number 2 in red is Robert Lambert. Louis Kerr out of gate number 3 in yellow, and Norrie Bladorn off the outside in blue. Massive, massive time for Jack Holder. They won't want to see the Bellevue Aces go further and further away now.
No question, there's a weight on Jack Holder's shoulders for sure. He's been giving 100% and he's been in the mix, but he's just been wrong place, wrong time so far tonight, but he needs a couple of big races now in the rest of his programme rides.
Yeah, heat number 11, heat number 13, of course, is a big clash as well, and he'll race against Robert Lambert on both times. So will Jack Holder be the first person to beat Robert Lambert here at the National Speedway Stadium? Could be 2 Grand Prix stars going head-to-head. We'll see them in the 2023 series as well. Both are in. Could be quite an entertaining tussle here. But Lambert has been absolutely superb since he turned up here. That's for sure. Number 11. Brilliant start from Louis Kerr and Jack Holder. Kerr up the banking. Here comes Bladorn. What a move from Norrie Bladorn. Absolutely fabulous move from him down the back straight. Now can Jack Holder respond? Certainly he can. He finds himself back at the front. Here comes Lambert now. Lambert having to really scrub his speed off there. He's got so much speed. He's able to wind it on once again. He can put the bike anywhere. Robert Lambert, Jack Holder going head to head here now. Can Holder hang on out in front? By the skin of his teeth. Louis Kerr coming back into the thick of the action as well. Forces his way back into 3rd place. 2 races as 1 here.
Oh, here comes Lambert up the inside. He had so much more speed than Jack Holder. Inside, outside, but now Holder's back up the inside. You don't know where to look in this race. Now Bladorn looking for a run as well.
Brilliant Speedway, Lambert up the inside. This is Speedway out of the top draw. One last blast out of the last corner. And Lambert hangs on. Louis Kerr back in 3rd place. Doesn't get better than that. Sensational Speedway here in the National Speedway Stadium in heat number 11. 2 Grand Prix giants going head to head there with Lambert remaining unbeaten, 8 rides, 8 wins. What a spectacular Speedway race that was. Swapping places every single lap. Crowd really, really on the edges of the seats there. fabulous stuff to watch. Really was sensational. And Robert Lambert, he had to work that time. 3 points out in front. Jack Holder riding out of his skin. 2 points for him. Louis Kerr, that was a big ride for Louis Kerr as well, back in third place. And Norik Bledon, he missed out in heat number 11. But what a speedway race this was.
What a fantastic speedway race. Everything given by all 4 riders. And at this point, Lambert's at the back, and you just think, oh, I don't know, Sheffield could steal something here. But I tell you what, Norik Bledon with that move between the 2 Tigers boys there was absolutely fantastic. But Jack Holder just sticks to his resolve around the inside, and now Lambert's joining the party. And you said it in the race, Kelvin, he really had to put the brakes on as he entered turn 1 on lap 2, but he just got the run now. He's got so much more speed than Jack Holder, inside or out. He's just got the speed. And, well, he goes on to win the race. But I tell you what, a battle again at the back as Louis Kerr roars up the inside. Tough there on Norik Bledon, but a vital 3rd place for Louis Kerr.
Brilliant stuff here. And, God, that was tight down the back straight there with Robert Lambert. But Lambert, even though he had to scrub all the speed off there, he just immediately, the bike responded, and it just was right back on the pace. And in truth, Jack Holder tried everything he knew here, but in the end, he just could not resist the move. Gotta say, Lambert was just not going to be denied, was he? He was just going to come on strong.
Yeah, he's riding at the highest level week in, week out, and you can just see it the way he rides here. He's just making so many decisions on every single lap, and every one of them's the right move. Just got to make it stick. Eventually, he manages to do that on lap 3. Super speedway race.
Yep, it was indeed. And, the 10 points are retained. And, a good effort from Louis Kerr to pick up 3rd place, just to hang in there. But that man clearly is making a big difference here. And he's had 8 rides for the Bellevue Aces, and he's won all 8. So an incredible performance at this stage by Robert Lambert, and another smashing speedway race that kept us royally entertained. Right, OK, let's get some more reaction. Let's get back down to Abby.
Yeah, thank you, Calvin. And we kept John, and that's exactly that, why you love this sport.
What a fantastic race. That was wheel to wheel. There were decisions being made left, right, centre there, inside, outside. And, yeah, it was 2 world-class Grand Prix riders going at it around probably one of the best stadiums in the world. So, mega. I have to disclose this, but before John and I were coming on screen, he was looking at my programme. I know last week Calvin said he didn't have a programme. He's just calling what he sees. He loves it. Yeah, I do. You know, I'm just saying to you there, I just like to see good, close, hard racing. And, you know, like people say I'm a Bellevue fan. I'm not really a Bellevue fan. I'm just a speedway fan. I've been all over the country watching racing, and I just like to see the boys at it. And that there was just a great advert for speedway on television. There, it was amazing. And I know that we're talking about this a lot tonight, about speedway being a team sport, but when Bellevue, and it's been so long since they lifted the title, but they've gone 2 men down, how much of that crowd you take in now, people like you that are coming out just watching this speedway, that really need to take that and use it as ammunition? That's it, you know, the crowd are behind them. They want them to push on the best they can, and the boys are going to do the best they can. It's really, really difficult. You know, just earlier on there, they're having a team meeting, and you know, Lemo will be getting behind the boys and pushing them as hard as they can, and they know what to do. They know they need to be ahead. They're 10 points ahead still, so it's not too bad. Double figures is good to take to Sheffield, and let's just try and keep the momentum going to take it to Sheffield. John, thank you. Heat 12 then, and back to Calvin and Chris.
Thank you, Abby. And Norik Bledon is a very busy man. Of course, we're just going to hang on for him. The other 3 boys are up at tapes, just doing their gardening, but we are rating with just over a minute to go for young Norik Bledon, who will be, as I say, as a consequence of Jai Etheridge not being fit tonight. He's having another ride here. He's getting through his rides. He's had 5 outings already, so this is his 6th ride. So unfortunate not to get a point in that last race. I mean, such a stunning move early in the race, wasn't it? And for him not to have scored a point was quite remarkable. Heat number 12 then, Justin Sedgman off the inside in yellow, Matty Zago out of gate number 2 in red, Adam Ellis out of gate 3 in white, and Norik Bledon off the outside in blue. Was quite remarkable after such a brilliant opening move. he didn't score, and that's quite incredible. That was just a stunning race.
Yeah, it was a brilliant opening move down the back straight to squeeze between the Sheffield boys, but battled so hard in the end for nothing, but testament to Louis Kerr, who did exactly the same, battled for 4 laps.
He did indeed. Mark Lemon will be relatively satisfied under difficult circumstances this evening. The 5 men, the aces, but they've got a 10-point lead. With Ellis is also joining. The Tigers are coming out here roaring in heat number 12, that's for sure. Ellis hits the front for the first time. Here we go then behind him. Sedgman is looking vulnerable there with certainly Zagar now roaring around the outside. Hanging on here. Zagar's got a decision to make. He's made it. He's going for the big blast around the outside. Sedgman on the inside. Will he have the speed? Bladorn's there as well. Here comes Zagar now. Followed through by Bladorn. This is going to get very tight. Can Sedgman hang on in second place?
Yeah, difficult position for Sedgman because he thinks Bladorn's up the inside. He's got to cover that. But now Matty Zagar's exactly where he wants to be. He's got the back wheel in the dirt. He's now just gone to the inside. He realises that there's absolutely no way he's going to catch Adam Ellis out front. And maybe he's looking to help Norrick Bladorn through. But Sedgman, great ride from him.
Away we go then, Adam Ellis. He's had a couple of second places this evening, but this time he's going to see the checkered flag first. And the Sheffield Tigers pick up a 4-2, very handy indeed. They'll be pleased with that. And, there's no doubt that Norrick Bladorn is beginning to feel the effects here. Got a feel for him a wee bit. And failed to score, but as I say, the Sheffield Tigers out of gates 1 and 3 really did take it to the aces that time. And a handy result for them, that's for sure. Adam Ellis out in front, 3 points for him. Zagar coming through into second place, 2 points. Sedgman hanging on in third place, 1 point. And Norrick Bladorn fails to score in 2 consecutive races. So it's 40 points to 32. And once again, the Sheffield Tigers are hanging tough here.
Yeah, they are. They cut it back to 8 points, and it looks really good at the start of the race here as Adam Ellis gets around the outside. He's joined by his teammate Justin Sedgman, but at this point Sedgman's got decisions to make because he knows Norrick Bladorn has been creeping around the inside and making it work well all night. He knows he's there, so he's trying to cover that, but of course in doing so he's leaving all the space in the world for Matty Zagar, the rider in red here, and he likes nothing better than to be able to put the back wheel in the dirt and ride around the fence. And really Justin Sedgman, nothing he can do about that. Zagar with so much speed, but an important 4-2, just cutting another 2 points out of Bellevue's lead.
Yeah, 8 points is the margin. I think that was a good decision from Sedgman there, because he could have actually made himself very vulnerable and ended up slipping to the back. Yeah. But he hung on for a vital third place, and Adam Ellis clearly chuffed to bits to win his first race of the night. As I say, 40 points to 32, and all of a sudden Adam Ellis is made his mark on the evening, that's for sure, after a disappointing last ride. A great way to bounce back, and no easy race it was. Zagar certainly is a tough man to beat, and he did it very nicely indeed. So heat 13 is with us, and what a lineup we've got here. So heat 13, Brady Kurtz off the inside in red, Jack Holder out of gate number 2 in white, Robert Lambert out of gate number 3 in blue, and Tobias Michalak off the outside in yellow. And Michalak has been going along really well. I mean, there's some really eye-catching riders here on the start line. Michalak has done a great job for his team this evening. Robert Lambert, of course, it goes without saying, is unbeaten, but wow, this is a tough one to call.
You can't call it, can you? It's Brady Kurtz, winner last time out. Robert Lambert, as you say, unbeaten. Jack Holder, the only rider in this race not to have a race win, but of course more than capable. A big race for both teams, this one.
It is. I must say that the Bellevue Aces are hanging in there, but Sheffield Tigers are certainly showing some real character and are keeping it very tight. They'll be more than pleased with this when you consider the previous results between the two teams. I think the closest margin has been 18 points after the home leg in the league matches, so 8 points behind the Sheffield Tigers with a leg to go at the home track right now with 3 races to go. If they can keep it to that, I think they'll be pretty satisfied with their evening's work. We will see how these last 3 races pan out. But right now, massive heat number 13. Big engines here, that's for sure. start here. Certainly Kurtz has got there. Great move up the inside. Here comes Lambert. Wow, once again, just turns on the turbo there and just charges to the front. Kurtz is following him through. Jack Holder down there, coming through into third place, and Muchalak once again. Oh my goodness! Wow, Kurtz was out of shape there. Keep your eyes on Muchalak. Muchalak coming on strong. When he turned it back, trying to square the corner off, he had. When he get up the inside of third, chops his nose off. Brilliant speedway again.
I tell you what, Tobias Muchalak couldn't do any more than that. He timed his entry into the corner perfectly, the cutback perfectly. Just couldn't generate the speed to get ahead of Brady Kurtz. And the race does seem to be settling down now. Robert Lambert just riding out wide for fun, but I tell you what, big 5 points at this stage of the meeting for the Aces.
Massive result now for the Bellevue Aces. Heat number 13, a cracker on their feet. Robert Lambert once again just turned on the turbo down the back straight and fired himself to the front. Muchalak, what an effort from him, and he only picks up a point, and Jack Holder not having the evening he wanted, failing to score. But that man, Robert Lambert, an inspirational signing coming into the playoffs, that's for sure. Unbeaten last week and remains unbeaten. 4 rides and 4 wins here this evening. And a huge 5-1 for the home team there. And all of a sudden, they're pulling away now. 45 points to 33. And they'll be very pleased with that. Mark Lemon will be certainly very satisfied. Robert Lambert, well, nigh on unbeatable around this track. 3 points for him. Brady Kurtz, well, that was a very brave ride from Kurtz. 2 points from him. Jack Holder in third place, and Muchalak misses out in heat 13. But once again, this showdown here, and Robert Lambert once again just seems to have an extra gear here.
Yeah, we build heat 13 up. It's always a big race. None bigger than tonight here in the grand final first leg. And Robert Lambert, as you say, once he got his wheels in line, you just felt he was going to run past everybody, and that's exactly what he does. But I'll tell you what, Tobias Muchalak really took the race here to Brady Kurtz. Fantastic ride from him. We're on board now with Brady Kurtz. I believe it's Brady Kurtz, the inside there. And Robert Lambert at this point on the opening lap has just come flying around the outside of him. Lovely pictures from the onboard there, just a few inches away from the fence. But I've got to say, Brady Kurtz came under a lot of pressure from Tobias Muchalak, who does everything right. Times his perfect time back. You can see there, just Brady Kurtz just collecting a little bit of rut in the deep dirt. Gets a little bit squirrely, a little bit uncomfortable. And Tobias Muchalak taking full advantage to make up the ground. Couldn't have done any more, but there was never going to be any way past that man, Brady Kurtz.
Yeah, Kurtz just slams the door shut here. I thought for a moment that Muchalak was going to run into the side of Brady Kurtz, but fortunately he doesn't. Great onboard shots there with Brady Kurtz. And sensational 5-1 for the home team. They've got a 12-point lead now, so they'll be pleased about that. But look at that score chart. That's exactly what he did on Monday of last week, of course. And who is going to beat Robert Lambert? I think that's going to be certainly something that people are going to be talking about before Thursday, that's for sure. And he is doing a fabulous job for the Bellevue Aces. A 12-point lead, and they are looking strong now. So the 45 points. And the Sheffield Tigers have done a great job tonight. They've been hanging in there. And certainly with Bellevue down to one man here in heat 14, you've got to believe that they need to bounce back now.
Yeah, and Justin Sedgman looks like he's preparing to come out to replace Connor Mountain as a reserve swap here. So big race for the Sheffield Tigers, 12 points down, and only Norwick Gladorn to contend with, but of course you know how quick he can be around here.
Race 1 and 3 are working well, and it may have just fallen nicely for the visiting team here. And they've got it with Howarth off the inside and Sedgman coming off gate number 3. So Gladorn will be under a lot of pressure. Gladorn possibly just running out of steam in his last 2 rides. He failed to score. This will be his 7th ride of the evening, so he's had to work awfully hard, but he certainly is given everything, that's for sure, the teenager. So there we see, you're absolutely right, Chris. Sedgman is the man coming in here as a reserve switch now for Connor Mountain. And Sedgman has done a good job for the Sheffield Tigers tonight. He's
tough on Connor too. I mean, he's done his job down there at reserve as the rising star, but I think, you know, it's the right move. Justin's been well and truly on the pace.
Yeah, he's ridden smart, Sedgman. He's been in the points every race, and he's picked up 5 points from his 4 outings. Yeah, Connor Mountain possibly feels a little hard done by, but big decisions have to be made on big nights, don't they, Chris?
On big nights, yeah, you've got to expect it. The team managers have got to squeeze every single point that they possibly can.
And Sedgman has been really consistent away from the tapes, hasn't he? He's been making good starts tonight.
Yeah, and he's quick. He's got plenty of experience. He's used to riding tracks like this in Australia, particularly. So, yeah, he's definitely the right man for the job in this race.
So here comes young Norwick, and making his way round. He'll sleep well tonight, that's for sure. He's done his job brilliantly tonight. Mark Lemon will be satisfied with the 12-point lead, and he'll be desperate for it to remain so this time, but all the pressure on an 18-year-old this time for the Bellevue Aces. In heat number 14, plenty of support for the youngster here, that's for sure. He's a fan favourite. So heat 14 then, the lineup is Carl Howarth on the inside in white, Norwick Ladorn out of gate number 2 in blue, Justin Sedgman out of gate number 3 in yellow, and no rider off the outside in yellow because fundamentally Bellevue Aces have just run out of riders here, so it is an opportunity for the Sheffield Tigers to just bite back here in heat 14.
Interesting to see what Norwick Ladorn chooses to do in the first turn. He's been using the inside to great effect, so I've got to think that if he can make a start, he will look to drop it across Kyle Howard, pin him down.
Rather lets to go to the middle of the track, he's vulnerable there. Sedgman's just shot back to the inside of Ladorn, smart out of the turn 2, comes into second place. Carl Howard this time is elected to go right round the inside, but keep your eyes on Ladorn. What a smart move from Sedgman, and that's why he's in the race, isn't it? He has ridden superbly well there, Justin Sedgman.
Yeah, Simon said, calling on the experience of Justin Sedgman for the big race, and he's now keeping a close eye on Norwick Ladorn, who is not throwing the towel in. He's going to give it everything for 4 laps, but a very smart ride there from Justin Sedgman.
They can hang on here. This will be a fabulous 5 points, and heat 14, Ladorn's not out of it. Sedgman's really ridden well here. A bit of team riding, he was aware of where his partner was, and a smart move. One last blast down the back straight. Carl Howard now winding it on. This could be pivotal in the grand final over 2 legs, that's for sure. The Tigers bouncing back with a 5-1. It's all on once again here. Superb speedway from the Tigers. And they come back into it in fine style. Reduce that margin down to 8 points. That is a great result for the Sheffield Tigers in heat 14. Took the advantage of the Aces being down just to 1 representative there. Norwick Ladorn. This is 7th outing, and you've got to say that the youngster gave it everything, but just picked up the point. Carl Howarth out in front wins his first race of the night. 3 points for him. Justin Sedgman, a very smart ride from Sedgman there, 2 points. Norwick Ladorn back in 3rd place, 1 point. Only 3 riders in heat 14. Good speedway here, you know.
Yeah, good speedway, and a vital 5 points for the Sheffield Tigers as they peg it back to 8 points, giving themselves a decent shout with 1 race to go. But Norwick Ladorn, got a feel for him here, does all the right things on the first turn, then he elects to run to the outside of Kyle Howarth, opens the door once again for Justin Sedgman, who makes all the right moves on the first lap. And, well, it's 5 big points. 8 points to lead for the Aces.
It is indeed, and Sheffield Tigers will be more than happy with that, that's for sure. The Bellevue Aces were vulnerable there and they took advantage of it, but nonetheless, this grand final is well and truly alive. It's everything to race for, with 1 massive race to come here tonight to meet the halfway point. No super heat here, of course. We might get one next weekend, next Thursday, of course, but tonight there won't be. It's just a 15 heat shootout. But for Carl Howard, clearly delighted to win his first race of the night, and moves on to 4 points to complete his evening's work. But a crucial heat 15, that's for sure, for the home team. They will want to try and stretch the lead. We've witnessed some fabulous racing here this evening. 14 heats have gone so far. We've got one massive race to come. Heat 15 will be with us very shortly.
Welcome back to the National Speedway Stadium with one heat to go in this first leg of the grand final. 8 points separate the two sides. The Aces 46, Tigers 38. A reminder of what's coming up on the channel over the next few days. Ronnie O'Sullivan's Seventh Heaven is on Eurosport 1 Saturday 8 o'clock, and then the Home Nation Snooker from Northern Ireland is live on Sunday, Eurosport 1. Let's head straight to Steve Brandon, who's with the managers, and get their picks for Heat 15.
Thanks, Abby. Mark Lemon and Simon Stead are here with me. Mark, your choice in Heat 15. Who's going and where are they going from, please?
We're going to select Gates 1 and 3, and we're going to have Brady Kurtz in red and Robert Lambert in blue.
We only had to look at the aggregate scores over the 4 league matches of the season to know this was going to be a tight two-legged tie.
Yeah, we didn't come in here, disrespectful or underrating our opponents in Sheffield, and it's proven likewise. But obviously we've had not the best rub of the green with the injuries in the last couple of weeks, and especially tonight. So, backs against the wall, but the boys are coming out fighting.
And this one, heat advantage, you now just looking to get as many points as you can going to Sheffield.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the name of the game. It's the aggregate score. Obviously we had a good heat 13, got the same boys out again. I see, Tobias come off gate 2. We'll see what he can do, but hopefully he can't do anything. But, we need a good heat advantage to take to Sheffield.
Good luck to you in the last one. Simon, who's filling 2 and 4?
We'll go for Toby in gate 2 in white and Adam Ellis in off gate 4 in yellow.
You've not gone away tonight. Your team have put up a really spirited performance, and some of them have struggled a little bit, but they've come together as a unit.
Yeah, they've all been fighting hard. You know, can't fault any of them for effort. Jack had a bit of a rough rub of the green, you know, but we'll see what he's all about on Thursday at Sheffield, no doubt. And if everyone else can keep fighting as hard as they are, then we're right in it.
I know we're not the meeting's not finished, but I wish you luck in the last one. Abby, back to you.
Steve, thank you. We're now in the company of Max Frick. Max, it's been a tough night for your team. Down 2 men, 8 points in it, still 1 heat remaining.
Yeah, anything can happen, but you know, the boys have been riding so well tonight. Everyone's been giving it 100%. So it's good to see. You know, this final means a lot to Bellevue, all of us here. So I'm here supporting the team. Unfortunately, not riding, but you know, they're doing a great job out there. And it's been a bit of a tough night, obviously, with a couple of crashes. It's never nice to see. So hopefully, everyone's doing okay.
And your crash on the eve of the playoffs was horrific. How are you doing, and what's the road to recovery?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better this week. I still have a lot of soreness in my chest area, but you know, we're on the mend, and you know, slowly we're getting there, slowly feeling a little bit better.
Max, thank you. You've got Robert Lambert and Brady Kurtz for your side. Let's head to Heat 15 and to Chris and Calvin.
Thanks very much, Abby. Line up for Heat 15 then. Brady Kurtz is off the inside in red. Tobias Muszlak from gate number 2 in white. Robert Lambert at a gate 3 in blue, and Adam Ellis off the outside in yellow. And this could be massive in the context of the championship right now. 8 points is the lead for the Bellevue Aces. I suggest that might not be enough. I know it's still a healthy lead, but it might not be enough. So the Bellevue Aces will be very keen to finish here with a 5-1 if they can.
Yeah, the history of these two sides, home and away, suggests that's not enough. But of course, this is the final. Everything changes. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting night. But we've got another race to come here, and there's 8 points in it. Can Bellevue extend it? You've got to say they've made a pretty good job tonight, considering they've had 2 riders withdrawn.
Yeah, they have indeed. They've battled very hard, but likewise the Sheffield Tigers have taken their opportunities when they've come their way, and they have had their #1 man just not having the rub of the green, as Simon Stead was saying. So here we are then. This will get us to the halfway point, half-time as it were, and the lead for the Heat 15 here at the National Speedway Stadium. 3 nights on. Kurtz has made a great start there, but Muszlak has pushed Robert Lambert very wide in the first corner. Here comes Ellis up the inside. Muszlak certainly under pressure now from Robert Lambert. Oh my goodness gracious me! He's gone down hard. Gone down very hard.
Heavy fall.
Once again, turns 3 and 4, catching riders out. Did so well initially. And as Mark Lemon was saying, you don't see many crashes here, and tonight we've seen plenty, and that's of some concern.
Yeah, that was a heavy fall. Tangled with the bike as well, quite a heavy impact in this sort of chest area, I would suggest.
So drama once again here, and Brady Kurtz certainly had got away nicely initially. Lambert was the one that was caught in traffic in the first corner. And maybe the fact that Lambert was in the race, Tobias Muszlak just pushing a touch too hard, but there's no doubt there's some heavy grip in that bottom corner.
Yeah, it looks like he made a slightly late decision as he entered the corner to move back to the outside, and just caught himself out. I think it was the change of direction that didn't help him. It's good to see him sat up.
He's chatting, so he's going to get to his feet now. Good news.
Yeah, good to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, well, the team rather, he will be excluded. So it will be all on Adam Ellis in the rerun. But Tobias Muszlak has certainly given it absolutely everything tonight, as they all have in truth.
Yeah,
we'll
they
see
have.
this again.
We will indeed. And Brady Kurtz on the inside makes a cracking start, runs around the inside. Robert Lambert's gone high and wide. And at this point, Musiak now, you can see the rider in white there. He's got Robert Lambert to think about. Just all it is, he just collects. There's been a grippy patch there all night that's caught 1 or 2 riders out, and it's caught out Tobias there, and he's gone down heavy. But I thought he'd made a conscious decision, but it wasn't. He's just collecting a little bit of a little bit of grip, and awkward crash. Lucky not to get collected by the bike there.
Yeah. Tough moment for Simon Stead, and an even tougher one, of course, for the rider. The exclusion light is on, and Tobias won't be in the rerun of Heat 15. It has been a dramatic night. It's been pretty attritional, with the Bellevue Aces going down to 5 men, and Tobias Musiak there just crashing out in spectacular style there in Heat 15 on the opening lap. But you've got to say, it's tough sport, and sport can be cruel, but at the end of the day, with one representative here for the Sheffield Tigers, the Bellevue Aces will want to take advantage, that's for sure. Sheffield Tigers did it in Heat 14. Can the Bellevue Aces now repay the compliment in Heat 15?
Yeah, they'll certainly be wanting to. They'll be looking to stretch that back to 12, but it's great to see that man making his own way back under his own steam there, because that was a very, very heavy fall.
It was indeed. Spectacular stuff. And there's no doubt that I'm not quite sure what's going on here with Robert Lambert's bike. The rear chain is now just being replaced. I don't quite know why it was off the bike in the first place, but we're down to 1 minute and 20 seconds for the restaging of Heat 15. And Matty Zagar just looking on. Brady Kurtz made a great start initially. Definitely gates 1 and 3 have been the better 2 gates tonight. They certainly seem to have worked well.
Yeah, Robert Lambert hasn't actually been making great starts now, which was great for us. We've seen some fantastic racing as he's managed his way through from the back in each of his heats. But in a heat as tough as this, you need to be out front, and a lot of pressure now on Sheffield's lone representative, Adam Ellis. Really could do with a decent start.
He could do, but he's off the outside, so he might have to do a plan B in the first corner, maybe a chop back. But there's no doubt that Adam won his last ride, so he'll be feeling pretty confident, and he's more than capable if he really puts his best foot forward. And Robert Lambert there, just a few concerns there with the equipment. Just a few running repairs. Not quite sure why they were working on the bike. Clearly they found something they weren't happy about, but he's on his way round now. I'll tell you what, he's going to have to get a hurry on, because there's only 9 seconds left. And tell you what, he's only just going to get there in the nick of time. Tell you what, that was very tight indeed. So here we go, second time of asking to conclude the first leg of the grand final here at the National Speedway Stadium. There. Kurtz once again has made a great start. Ellis now chopping back up the inside of Robert Lambert. He gets himself into second place. Oh, Lambert so committed going into turn 3 on the opening lap. Kurtz is out in front. Ellis is right there. But Lambert now beginning to step his authority on second place. And if they can hang on out in front, they'll move to a 12-point lead at the midway point of the grand final.
Yeah, once again, Robert Lambert just rings the bell, ding ding, I'm coming through. And that's showing plenty of speed, plenty of liking for this National Speedway Stadium. And Adam Ellis, well, he's riding out wide, he's giving it every single thing he's got. And he really is back in the thick of it, but it's going to be hard to find a way past Brady Kurtz and Robert Lambert as they look to stretch the lead back to 12 going into the second leg.
One last blast down the back straight. The Bellevue Aces have taken advantage, and they're going to finish off in style. Hands are on their feet, and Robert Lambert, unbeaten once again. 10 races here in Bellevue, and he's had 10 wins. Remarkable. And the Bellevue Aces sign off tonight with a big 5-1. They leave here this evening with a 12-point lead. Nicely poised still. Not a disaster for the Sheffield Tigers. I sense that there was pressure on the home team there, more on the home team. They really needed to dig deep. It's been a fantastic first 15 heats of the grand final, that's for sure. And we look forward to seeing it all again, of course, on Thursday night. But that was an important result for the Aces there.
It was. You can see the tension there from Mark Lemon, Bellevue team manager. He's just afforded a slight smile there, as he knows that's probably the best he can expect from his Bellevue Aces tonight with everything they've faced. But Brady Kurtz and Robert Lambert just continue the celebrations. Halfway, 12 points, it's all on.
Game on, that's for sure. Brady Kurtz has ridden well, Simon Stead, well, he would have hoped to have kept it to under 10, but nonetheless, 12 points, I would think they'll be fancying that is doable. What a night of Speedway we've had.
A massive 5 points to the Aces and 1 to the Tigers, which brings a final score of the first leg of this grand final. Bellevue ATPI Aces 51, Sheffield Tigers 39.
So what a night of Speedway we have witnessed, Chris. It's been outstanding. It's been attritional for the home team, but there's no doubt that Heat 15 there was hugely important for the Bellevue Aces, because you know, at Allerton on Thursday, the Sheffield Tigers, I sense, will come out with all guns blazing.
Yeah, it's been an attritional night for both teams, to be fair. Connor Mountain had a fairly heavy fall in his second ride, and of course Jack Holder, when the race was stopped, went down heavy as well. So it's been a tough night for both sides, but they've both battled on brilliantly and given us a great race meeting. That man has been literally unbeatable, and it's all set now for the second leg.
Yeah, it's set up very nicely indeed. Robert Lambert, of course, has done an incredible job for the Bellevue Aces. Tom Brennan also has done nicely. Not at Bladorno, as I say, he must be feeling a bit second-hand because he's ridden 7 times tonight, and this is a big track. And I think it's been a great advert for British Speedway tonight. You know, the grand final, the playoffs always work. And, you know, these two heavyweights slugging it out here in the first leg, it's been absolutely sensational stuff, and 1 or 2 races tonight have just taken your breath away.
Yeah, they have, and it's exactly what you expect from racing here at the National Speedway Stadium. But both sides, it's the final, they've given more than 100%, and it's been everything you expect it to be. It's been passionate, it's been handlebar bashing at times, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise, there's no doubt about it. I think moving towards Allerton in Sheffield, the Steel City, of course, on Thursday night, I would suggest that 12 points is doable for the Sheffield Tigers, but on the other hand, I get the feeling that the Aces will be pretty pleased with the result as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to come down to every single rider giving it 100% and putting in their best.
So we've reached the halfway mark of this 2-legged Premiership Grand Final, and the Aces will head to Sheffield with a 12-point advantage. 51-39, the final score here on the night. A reminder of the motorsport that's coming up on the channel. So the British Speedway Final, the second leg, we will be in Sheffield, and that's live on Eurosport 2. Remember, these are Central European times, so deduct an hour, will be on at 7:30 British time. And then we've got the British Superbikes, the Bennett's British Superbikes from Brands Hatch at the weekend, Eurosport 2 live Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then the FIM World Superbikes is in San Juan, and that's the 22nd and the 23rd of October. It has been, Sam Ermolenko, an attritional night of Speedway.
It just, you couldn't write some of the things that happened, huh? Some of the crashes, some of the bravery that was going on this track. Just riders getting, you know, knocked out of the meeting. Pretty tough.
Yeah, we do hope that Jai Etheridge and Charles Wright will be back out on Thursday. Jai, we've got a monitor here, and Jai was watching the Speedway. I just asked him how he was. He just said he saw.
Yeah, I don't know the guy very well, but it looked more awkward than it looked like he got hurt, but the awkward side of the things was he says it's messed his back up a little bit. So, yeah, hopefully he'll come back.
And hopefully Tobias Mujalak isn't too beaten up either, because that was a high-speed crash.
He's fine. He says that.
He's okay?
He says, Sam, you know how it is when you're racing on that fine line, you're looking for it. He was watching the other rider, and he goes, I had to go one little bit further, ran out and put it down. So he was fine.
So 12 points. It's still game on, isn't it? Because Sheffield are so strong at home.
I know. The way the meeting was going, it could have went even worse, I think. So I think this is they salvaged something out of that 12 points.
And we know that both sides, when they've gone to the other's track, they haven't reached the 40-point mark.
Still.
Tigers were close on 39, but it's the Jeopardy that we want. We want it to go. We want it to go down to the last.
You know,
decider.
both sides put in a big performance. There's no doubt about it. And there's a lot of missing links through all that. I mean, Kyle Howard didn't go good. Jack Holder got in trouble. So who knows if everybody comes back? It could be another game, man. Big one.
Another game, a big one, and we've seen the pressure mounting. It's going to continue to mount on Thursday as we head to Sheffield. But Robert Lambert, just final thoughts. What a signing.
Unbelievable. The guy is on fire.
On fire. We look forward to seeing you in Sheffield for the second leg of this Premiership Grand Final. Will it be Bellevue Aces or Sheffield Tigers that come out on top? We'll see you then.